The moment the handcuffs clicked around Becky Swain's wrist, time seemed to stand completely still. It was the ending we had all been screaming for, but somehow it felt like just the beginning of a much darker chapter. After months of gaslighting, manipulation and fear, Lisa finally chose justice over history. But if you think Becky is going to stay quiet behind bars, you clearly do not know the depths of her obsession. Welcome back to our channel. If you are loving the drama and want to stay ahead of every shocking twist, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Let's dive into the aftermath. The dust has barely settled on what was arguably one of the most explosive weeks in soap history. We had the pile up, the fire, and the sheer cinematic chaos of the crossover. But when you strip away the stunts and the sirens, it all came down to three women standing in the wreckage of a lie. Lisa Swain, Carla Connor, and the woman who tried to burn it all down, Becky. For a long time, viewers were shouting at their televisions, begging Lisa to wake up. It is frustrating to watch a character we know is smart and capable be completely blind to the monster sleeping in her own home. But that is the insidious nature of emotional abuse and manipulation. Becky did not just lie to Lisa, she dismantled her reality piece by piece. That is why that moment by the ambulance was so pivotal. It wasn't just an arrest, it was an exorcism. When Lisa read her those rights, she wasn't just acting as a police officer, she was reclaiming her life. However, we have to talk about what happens next because the spoilers suggesting that the nightmare is over are dead wrong. We know that Coronation Street loves a villain who can pull strings from a prison cell. Think about the legacy of characters who remain dangerous even when locked away. Becky fits that mold perfectly. She has stripped away all pretenses of being a loving mother or a misunderstood wife. What is left is pure, unadulterated malice. The reports coming in about next week are genuinely chilling because they show a shift in Becky's strategy. She has realized that emotional appeals won't work anymore. Lisa's eyes are open. Carla is safe. Betsy is horrified. So, Becky is pivoting to the only weapon she has left, which is mutual destruction. The threat she makes is calculated to ruin Lisa's entire existence. By claiming that Lisa knew she was alive the whole time and was hiding her, Becky is targeting the one thing Lisa has always clung to, which is her integrity as an officer. It is a terrifyingly plausible lie. Think about it from the perspective of the police force. Lisa has been acting erratically. She has been personally involved in the case. She has compromised crime scenes. If Becky spins a narrative that Lisa was her accomplice, it creates a mess that could see Lisa stripped of her badge or even facing charges herself. It is the ultimate act of, if I can't have you, nobody can. It proves that Becky never truly loved Lisa because you do not destroy the people you love just to keep control over them. But the real heart of this upcoming drama isn't just between the two ex-lovers. It is focused on Betsy. We have to talk about Betsy because this poor girl has been through the ringer. She has spent months being the rope in a tug-of-war between two mothers, one who is trying to protect her and one who views her as a possession. The spoilers reveal that Betsy overhears the threat Becky makes against Lisa. This is the turning point. Up until now, Betsy has had that lingering childish hope that maybe her mum could get better. Maybe if they just went away together, things would be okay. That hope died the moment she heard Becky planning to frame Lisa. It is a brutal way to grow up, but it is also the making of Betsy as a character. The decision for Betsy to go to the prison alone is huge. It is a moment of immense bravery. Picture the scene. You have the cold, sterile environment of the prison visiting room, the noise of the guards, the clanging of gates, and then you have a teenage girl sitting across from the woman who gave birth to her, knowing she has to cut the cord. The dialogue in this confrontation is going to be heartbreaking. Betsy isn't going there to shout or scream. She is going there to deliver an ultimatum. She tells Becky that if she goes through with destroying Lisa, then she loses her daughter forever. It is the only leverage Betsy has. She's using her mother's own desire for connection against her. It is a tragedy that a child has to learn to manipulate a manipulator just to survive. But that is what Becky has turned her into. We also have to look at where Carla fits into this puzzle. The bond between Carla and Betsy has been growing quietly in the background. It is one of the most unexpected but rewarding dynamics on the show right now. Carla knows what it is like to have a complicated, toxic family. She sees something of herself in Betsy. When Betsy breaks down and begs Carla not to leave her, it solidifies Carla's role, not just as a victim of this storyline, but as a protector. Carla has been through hell. She was kidnapped and held in that flat in the dark, terrified she would never see the light of day again. Yet her first instinct isn't to run for the hills. It is to stand her ground and protect the people Becky is trying to hurt. This raises a massive question about the future of Carla and Lisa. We call them Carissa. And the chemistry is undeniable. But can a relationship truly survive this much trauma? Lisa feels guilty. You can see it in every scene. She feels guilty that she didn't see the truth sooner. She feels guilty that Carla was hurt. She feels guilty that Betsy is traumatized. That is a heavy load to carry. Becky knows this. She is counting on that guilt to break Lisa down, even from inside her cell. The psychological warfare is far from over. There is also the wider impact on the street to consider. Kit Green has been involved in this investigation, and his role is interesting. He received the information from Carla that helped catch Becky, but now he has to deal with the fallout of these accusations against his colleague. If Becky formally accuses Lisa of corruption, Kit might be forced to investigate her. That adds a layer of procedural tension on top of the emotional drama. It creates a pressure cooker environment where Lisa is fighting on all fronts. She is fighting for her daughter's soul. She is fighting for her freedom, and she is fighting for a chance at happiness with Carla. The writers have done a brilliant job of making Becky a villain for the ages. She isn't a cartoon character. She is terrifying because she is real. We have all heard stories of people who cannot let go, who view people as property. The way she switched from begging for love in the ambulance to cold calculation in the prison cell shows the duality of her narcissism. She believes she is the victim. In her twisted mind, Lisa is the one who betrayed her by not running away with her. She justifies every terrible thing she has done, the firebombing, the kidnapping, the assault, as necessary acts of love. That delusion is what makes her so dangerous. You cannot reason with someone who creates their own reality. So, what happens if Becky ignores Betsy's threat? What if her desire for revenge against Lisa is stronger than her desire to have a relationship with her daughter? That is the terrifying possibility we are facing next week. If Becky names Lisa, the investigation alone could ruin Lisa's life. It would suspend her from the force. It would put a strain on her relationship with Betsy, who would feel guilty for not stopping it. It would push Carla away because Carla can't deal with more police drama. It is a scorched earth policy. However, there is a glimmer of hope. The spoilers mention that Betsy's confrontation leaves Becky speechless. For the first time, she is silenced. This suggests that maybe, just maybe, Betsy is the one person who can get through to her. Or perhaps it is the realization that she has truly lost control. Narcissists spiral when they lose control. If Becky realizes she can't manipulate Betsy anymore, she might lash out in a different way, or she might finally crumble. We also have to appreciate the acting performances we are seeing. The portrayal of Lisa Swain has been subtle and powerful, showing a woman slowly breaking under pressure and then finding her steel. The scenes coming up in the prison require a level of intensity that is going to be uncomfortable to watch, but impossible to look away from. And the young actress playing Betsy is doing a phenomenal job of portraying that specific teenage mix of vulnerability and sudden forced maturity. Looking further ahead, if they manage to neutralize Becky's threat, what does the healing process look like? You don't just bounce back from being kidnapped or having your mother arrested for firebombing your house. The show needs to give these characters time to breathe. We want to see Carla and Lisa actually talk, not just about the case, but about them. There is so much unspoken tension there. They are two strong, independent women who have been brought together by disaster. Now they need to see if they can work in peacetime. But on Coronation Street, peacetime is a rare luxury. The fan theories are already flying around. Some people think Becky might escape again, perhaps during a prison transfer. Others think she has an accomplice on the outside we haven't met yet. While those are fun to think about, I think the psychological drama of her being behind bars is actually more compelling. It forces the characters to face the trauma without the immediate physical threat, which is often harder. It forces Lisa to look in the mirror and forgive herself, which might be the hardest thing of all. We also have to consider the legal aspect. With the immense amount of crimes Becky has committed, she is looking at a long sentence. Kidnapping, arson, assault, police obstruction. She isn't getting out anytime soon legally. That is why she is playing dirty. She has nothing to lose. A villain with nothing to lose is the most unpredictable kind. She might try to cut a deal offering information on other crimes in exchange for leniency, or she might just burn it all down for the sake of it. The scene where Carla holds Betsy and comforts her is going to be the emotional anchor of the week. It signifies a shifting of the guard. Becky has abdicated her role as a mother through her actions. Carla, who lost her own child years ago and has had such a complex history with motherhood, is stepping into that space not to replace Becky, but to offer the safety that Becky never could. It is a beautiful redemption arc for Carla as well, showing her capacity for nurturing despite everything she has been through. Ultimately, this storyline is about consequences. The title of the crossover promised them, and now they are being delivered. Becky thought she could outrun them. She thought she could charm or bully her way out of them. But reality has caught up. The handcuffs were just the first step. The real consequences are the loss of her daughter's respect and the destruction of her family. Lisa is facing consequences to the consequence of her blind loyalty. She is paying the price for loving the wrong person, but she is also earning her freedom. As we gear up for next week's episodes, keep a close eye on the subtle interactions between Lisa and Kit. If Becky drops this bombshell, Kit's reaction will tell us everything. We need to know about how this investigation is going to go. Will he back his partner, or will he follow the book? And watch Betsy. She is the wild card. If she feels her ultimatum hasn't worked, she might take even more drastic action. She has shown she is her mother's daughter in terms of boldness, but she has her father's conscience. This is Coronation Street at its best. High stakes, deep emotion, and a villain we love to hate. We are witnessing the dismantling of a family, but hopefully the construction of a new, safer one in its place. The road ahead is rocky, and I have a feeling Becky has one or two more cards to play before the final credits roll on her story. But for now, at least we know she's behind bars where she belongs. What do you think will happen? Will Becky go through with her threat to name Lisa? Can Betsy really cut her mum off for good? And is there any hope for a happy ending for Carla and Lisa? Let me know your theories in the comments below, because I read every single one of them. It is going to be a bumpy ride, so strap in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the drama. See you on the cobbles.